President Carson Lentz called the meeting. Secretary Terry Lorenz read the minutes of the previous meeting. President Carson Lentz called the last meeting. The motion was made and seconded to accept the minutes. Secretary Terry Lorenz Carson introduced, read the minutes of the previous meeting. Sean reviewed Acting Secretary Terry Lorenz, Sean Lorenz introduced, read the minutes of the previous meeting. We started with a review of the Sean reviewed and how COVID-19 the replacement of Sean Lorenz introduced, read the minutes of the previous meeting. We also discussed broadband. Started with a review of the Sean reviewed and how COVID-19 Sean talked about Sean Lorenz introduced, read the minutes of the previous meeting. His main focus was on broadband, which included the Town of Cross project and the grant application for the Town of Buffalo. He speculated the possibility of another grant cycle through the American Rescue Plan Act. He discussed the Infrastructure Investment and the Jobs Act and provided an explanation of the Affordable Connectivity Program, which will be available to qualifying members. He encouraged the members to stay vigilant regarding cybersecurity and spoofed robocalling, for which he provided examples. Sean wrapped up his report by inviting anyone who wishes to discuss topics of concern to either call or come into his office for a discussion. Sean announced the 2022 CCT scholarship winners. Sean announced that Ben Adank, who ran unopposed, was elected to a 5-year term with 230 votes. Carson closed by thanking everyone for attending. A motion was made and seconded to adjourn. Motion carried. Terry Lorenz, Treasurer Secretary. The end.
Thanks, Jewel.
Welcome.
Right, I would like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes as read. Second. Did we have a first? All right, we got a first and then the second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The minutes are approved. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Cochrane Cooperative Telephone Company Board of Directors. I'm Heidi Lasowski, currently the president. We have Carson Lentz, who is the vice president. Jolene Rohr, the secretary. Terry Lorenz, the director. And Ben Holine is not present, but he is also a director. You have Holine on you. I was reading it. Ben sorry. And then I'd like to introduce Sean Squires, our CEO.
No, I might have done it by accident.
I was going to say. All right, I'd first of all like to apologize for some of the technical issues that we've been having with our broadcast. This is all new technology, that we're doing. I am not a streamer by any means, so a little bit of YouTube and little research on Google, but I think we got it working now, which is great. So I want to thank everyone for coming this evening. We have a really, really good turnout, which is great. Far passing my expectations, which is good, and we have a few people joining us online as well. So that was one of the things that the membership had asked for, was a virtual option when we did the survey last year. So it's great to see that we have some individuals doing it that way. Let's make sure that this is working. All right, so at this time, I'll introduce the staff of Cochrane Telephone. It's the same people that you've seen year after year. So myself, Sean Squires, I'm the CEO. And then we have Matt Biesterveld. He is our plant manager. And then we have Corey Hansen, one of our central office technician. Jason Marquardt is actually out ill this evening, so unfortunately he's not here, but he is another technician of ours. And we have Lisa Bramer in the back. She's our office manager. And then Amanda Potzner, which graces you anytime that you would happen to call. So this group here, as I mentioned, there's been no turnover in our office. As you can see up on the screen, we have a lot of years of experience in our office, and only hope to continue that to continue to grow. So I'll jump into a little bit more of the financials here in just a second, but first I wanted to start off by going through a little bit of a delay. So I wanted to, as I was putting this together, I kind of wanted to go back a few years before we kind of did any kind of build outs or anything like that, just so that the membership could see where we were and where we are right now. So as you can see, back in 2015, which is obviously right before we did the build out in the city of Alma, there was 974 phone lines at that particular time. And then at the end of 2022, we had 950, which is a loss of 2.5%, which, you know, most people would say, oh, you have a decline, that's kind of bad. Well, it's actually not, because what happened was in 2021, we did the no need to have a phone as a requirement to be a member anymore. So we lost a lot of phone lines there, but as you can see, by looking at the orange line, that's our broadband connections, and you can see that there's not that dip when we did that. And that's simply just because people no longer need phone lines. A lot of people use cell phones nowadays. So, but our broadband connections back in 2015, we had 777, and at the end of 2022, we had 1,565. So that's more than doubled. And then as of the end of the year, we had just over 1,750 customers. And in 2022, our actual largest growth area was actually in the city of Alma, which grew by more than 10%. So there's a lot of growth up in Alma. And I have some speculations as to why, which I won't get into, but it has to do with their services from another provider. So let's see here if we can get this to move forward again with that delay. Okay, there we go. We'll jump into the 2022 financial reports, which is on the inside portion of your booklet, and we'll focus on the left-hand side, which is the balance sheet. The first area that I want to kind of focus on is the cash and cash equivalents. It is up by almost $1 million, and that is simply because we had planned on doing the town of Buffalo through a grant project. We'll get into that a little bit later, but that project ended up not occurring, and so we had some extra cash on hand as of the end of the year that we had planned on using. For those that are concerned about the recent events in the banking industry, a vast majority of our actual cash is all protected within the FDIC limits. Probably about maybe, I do not think any of them are even close to failing. The next area that's highlighted is our property and equipment. That's now up to almost $14.5 million, which is up about $2 million. And that's with the addition of the town of Cross. So we had all of the assets that we put into the ground, things like that. Those are now being reflected in our property and equipment area. And then as you can also see, just down below, we're about half depreciated by obviously injecting all of this, these additional assets into the ground. That obviously pushes out the depreciation as well. Let's see here. I think we got to change slides. Yep. Okay. The accounts payable due to customers, that is up considerably over the 2021. And that's simply because in the latter portion of 2022, we did a capital credit payout. So what's being reflected there is actually customer accounts that have a credit balance on them still that they're utilizing, and most of those credits were used up at the end of January. The next section, there's two of them up there. It'll be the current, and then also if you go down a little bit, term deferred revenue. And that is simply because all grant payments that we receive have to be considered deferred revenue for the length of the depreciation of the life of what we installed. So unfortunately, we can't count that all as cash, or I'm sorry, as all as revenue in the first year that we put it into the ground. So that is spaced out over the life, so it'd be about 18 years. And then it should go up a little bit more next year, just because it's only reflecting a few months of the year where there was, I lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. So yeah, because there was only a couple of months of the current year, and then now we'll have the full year of allocation there. And then it should remain steady unless that we would get any kind of future grant. Then the last part that I wanted to talk about here is the patronage capital. We did add a healthy amount after doing the capital credit payout, which we'll get into in the next slide. That is the amount that we're holding of capital. The operating statement, which is the fun one to talk about, because this is actually truly how the performance of the company is doing in the past year. Our local communication services, that's basically where all of your payments go, is into that line. Again, we obviously added the town of Cross customers. So that's the reason for the increase there. Our operating expenses in total are down. Mostly that is due to 2021, as you had heard in those minutes. It was myself and Gina during the transition, so we had approximately about 4 months of 2 salaries being paid, and then that's obviously underneath that corporate operations account line. And then underneath the investments, just like everyone else's investments last year, ours also took a hit. And then due to accounting principles, we have to count that unrealized loss, which we took, as on our operating statements. And then the final part I wanted to talk about was the taxes. Obviously, that's something that we cannot control, but we can do some things with them. So the large swing is due to some losses that we were able to take, and then unrealized losses. But since the unrealized losses provide no current tax benefit, they can't be deducted until obviously they're sold. So, however, they do provide a future tax benefit, which is recorded in the form of a deferred tax benefit. To kind of just some things in review for last year, obviously we completed the Town of Cross project, which you've heard me mention now a couple times. So are there any Town of Cross residents that are in the audience this evening? That is amazing. Well, congratulations for being a member now with us. You get to experience your first annual meeting, and hopefully you'll be able to experience your first capital credit payment. But obviously that'll be up to the board's direction. Kind of just summarize some of the things with the Town of Cross. The project was completed in October, and currently we have 75 phone subscribers, and and 140 broadband subscribers, and there's 14 accounts that have adjacent building connections as well. So a lot of connections there. I thank Matt and his staff that he works with for making sure that everything ran as smoothly as it did. And then up on the next item, the broadband expansion advocacy. So myself and some of the other local cooperatives that are in the area that service Buffalo County, we did meet with the county representatives, and in 2022, we were able to earmark $1.3 million of ARPA, or American Rescue Plan Act funds, for broadband expansion in the county. And to date, there's approximately about $650,000 of that remaining, which has not been yet designated for specific projects. I do have a series of meetings that are going to be scheduled with various townships within the next week and a half to 2 weeks. And the reason for that is that the county has decided to, if there is not broadband projects for each municipality, they're basically going to revamp their language. And instead of having a $100,000 per project maximum, they are actually going to decide to use whatever fund is left, divide it amongst the various projects that are scheduled, and those dollars will actually be used for exactly what they were earmarked for, rather than to go back and to be spent somewhere else. So that was a really good accomplishment, I thought. And it doesn't mean that we're actually going to be building out to all those municipalities. It just simply is us helping them go through the process. It's a kind of a lengthier process, and we'll try to get them connected into the dollars. And if something makes sense for us, we'll look at it with the board too, and we'll decide if it is worthy of doing a build out. Then also at the state level, we've done some advocacy there as well. Senator Smith, a few things. And then I've also met with Senator Smith and also Representative Pronczynski down in Madison as part of some legislative efforts that we're trying to do. There's 2 current bills that are trying to get, not really pushed through, but that the state is kind of advocating for. One of them has to do with 911 funding, and then obviously the other is to do with some taxing on broadband grants. So we've been working really hard with that as well. And then, as I had previously mentioned, in 2022, we did submit for the Town of Buffalo grant. Our grant was one of 194 applications that we're asking for over $500 million in funding for what ended up being a $120 million round. Our Town of Buffalo grant, we were asking for $3 million, and unfortunately, as I mentioned, we didn't miss out. We were scored number 75, just missed out. But the worst part of this is that there's a company, if anybody knows of them, they're called Bug Tussle. They're a wireless provider that's been kind of dabbling into the fiber optics as well as their normal, about $9 million of their projects. So that could have been $9 million that could have went to those 71, 72, 73, 74, which would have included us in our project. I did speak with Senator Smith's staff, and they immediately contacted the PSC to inquire about the status of those funds and what they were going to be used for in the future. So the good news is that the senator's staff is passionate about broadband just like what we are. They want to see the funding that was allocated for those projects be spent on those projects. And the last thing I want to talk about for 2022 was the Affordable Connectivity Program. It was early spring. We were we had submitted our application and we were granted access into that program. You have to apply to be a part of it. Basically what it is it's a way to help make broadband affordable, and we'll get into a slide later some of the qualifying factors for that, because I think there's a lot of people in this room that might even qualify for it. So I want everyone to be aware of that particular program. And then we'll move on to 2023. Did I go too far? Oh, I know why I'm sorry. I added this picture just right before I came here today. And this is some of those attention that we gained with the Town Across project. So, I don't know, it's kind of I wanted to make sure that I chose a picture with everyone in it. The individual in the center of the back row there, that's actually the governor. So he actually came and met with the Town of Cross board, their broadband committee, because he had heard so much about how the application process went, and the state is actually using the Town of Cross model for future application recommendations for any municipality. So it was really nice to see that attention, and plus it gets the Town of Cross on the news. All right, so here. There we go. 2023. So local infrastructure updates. So what we have kind of on the list, we focused on some areas where we could identify some risks in our infrastructure. Matt was really key in this. So the first part, which we've already accomplished, is we took some of the pedestals and did some work inside of them to help protect them from the possibility of rodents. And yes, rodents. Who would have thought? And then as well as insects. So I know everyone loves those little Asian beetles. Apparently the beetles as well as mice like to chew on fiber optic cable. So we did take some steps to basically protect those fibers in there. And yes, it is a humane effort. It's not electrocution or poison or things like that. It just basically encases those and protects them from the possibility of these, could potentially take down a serious line of ours, and that would obviously be service impacting to all of you, and we don't want that to happen. The second project that we've identified is our roof over our main office. For those that have seen our building and know what it looks like, it's a flat roof, so obviously the water likes to pool up there, and 2018 was our last time that we did some work up there, and unfortunately those repairs I wouldn't say they were poor or anything by that means. It's just the type of roof that's on there, and how it interacts with the weather conditions and things like that. So very similar to, actually, if anybody's seen what's being done at the Cochrane Village Hall, same exact situation. So they put a pitched roof on theirs, and that's actually what we're looking at doing as well. And the goal is to tie it all in so it makes it look like it was there originally. So, and then the last thing that we have for infrastructure improvements is at our generator room, which is obviously a very key component in case of an replacement on that particular structure. And then, as I had mentioned at the start of this, is that I had surveyed a lot of people last year, and that's where we got the virtual option idea. Another recommendation that has came from the memberships is that for credit card payments. We're actually doing some testing right now with a vendor, and we hope to have this implemented hopefully by the middle of summer. Again, it's a convenience thing for everyone. Everyone's using credit cards nowadays, so It's just another method. The only thing that we are going to be doing is we will be charging a convenience fee to utilize it. We really encourage anyone that wants to just kind of not worry about their payments to sign up for ACH. And that just basically takes it out of your account on the 18th of the month. And you basically don't have to worry about dropping off a payment, mailing it, whatever. So just know that that will be another option moving forward. Then 2023 Broadband Expansion Grant Program. So we are in the middle of, actually at the tail end of the current broadband cycle. And we actually submitted 2 applications. And one of them is for the town of Buffalo again. And get into some details with that. So we, as the town board of Buffalo and myself, we went back to the drawing board after we had gotten the announcement that we were not going to be chosen. So we decided to look at some areas where we could cut some costs out and add $900,000 less. And then also we're doing a $1.4 million match. Cochrane Telephone is contributing $850,000 towards that project. The township is doing $450,000, and then the county, as I had mentioned, they are at a max of $100,000. And we're proposing to pass about 398 locations, so almost 400 people that could potentially add. And then we also submitted a Town of Montana grant. This one came together really, really quick at the end of 2022. They were very eager to get something put together, mostly because they're in one of the worst designated areas actually that you can have in the state, which is considered to be unserved. And with that project, we're doing a $945,000 ask with a $405,000 match. Cochrane Telephone is doing $105,000. The township is doing $100,000, and the county is doing $100,000. So it's almost equal share on that one. And with the town of Montana, we're proposing locations that are deemed unserved. So some people are getting just barely higher than dial-up speeds at their homes. So a lot of them cannot do any kind of work from home, educational opportunities, things like that. And then we have some upcoming grant rounds too. There will be a capital improvement grant cycle, mid to late June or even in July, but it should be sometime this summer. It should be about $36 million round, and it's part of the federal funding that was released as part of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. So again, we'll evaluate, because if the town of Buffalo or town of Montana do not get chosen, we may decide to turn those applications back over and submit them as part of this grant cycle as well. And then Reconnect Round 5. This is, again, it's not been announced, but it is on the horizon from what I've heard and read. The Reconnect program is actually funded through the USDA and is included actually in the Farm Bill. That's under current review at the federal level. The only thing with the Reconnect grant, which Cochrane Telephone has participated in the past, they are very competitive though, and they have very complex rules. So that's something that the board will have to kind of keep in mind as they evaluate any opportunities. And then it seems like anywhere where you go nowadays, you hear the word BEAD. That is broadband. Drew a blank here.
Equity.
I know it's right behind me, isn't it? So, yeah. It happens to me a lot just because there's so many acronyms, unfortunately, in this industry. And this one has been everybody just refers to it as BEAD. So basically what this is, this is the big package of funding that was designated specifically for broadband. It is part of the Infrastructure and Jobs Act. And the state is scheduled to have their announced amount on June 30th, and that amount is somewhere between 900 million and $1 billion. So there's gonna be a lot of money that's coming into this state for broadband. The state is currently putting together their 5-year action plan, which is due in the fall. There's, again, because this is federal funding, so there's gonna be a lot of rules that are tied to this, and one of them is that, and these are rules that the state has to follow because they're the ones who are going to be allocating the funds, but they must serve all unserved locations first, which is, the state estimates is about 227,000 locations. Then they can go to the underserved locations, which they estimate to be 330,000. Current estimations say that they'll be lucky if they even can touch most of those underserved, which is, kind of, that was supposed to be the single home. But we'll see how far they get. We've been told that probably projects that are BEAD funded will not get started until the spring of 2025. So that's kind of on the horizon. So that's kind of all of the updates that I had. I did put this map on just so that everyone can kind of see where the county's at as a whole. So anything that's in white is in areas that are not served by fiber optic service. So that would be your town of Nelson. Town of Elma's got a big portion of it. The town of Lincoln has a very large portion. The town of Glencoe, way over to the right-hand side, that owns the entire township, is unserved. And then the town of Wamedy, which I've been working with quite extensively, probably over the last 6 months. We're trying to get something put together for those pockets. And as you can see, we surround that whole entire area. So, so if there's anybody that you know that's in the town of Wamedy that lives on County E, that would be east of Wamedy, tell them to get in touch with their town board and kind of encourage them to keep on them. The town board is supportive of the idea. They're just not supportive of, trying to get to dollars that could help get this to come true. So, and then as I had mentioned, there's 2 programs that I want to talk about that I feel probably being underutilized by our members. The first is the Lifeline program, and when I say Lifeline, it's not the commercial that you see on TV that says "Help! I've fallen, I can't get up." That's not what this is. Basically, Lifeline means is you have a lifeline to call, so it'd be a telephone service. But they've actually expanded it to include broadband. The Lifeline program is actually only available to our customers in Cochrane, Buffalo City, and Wamedy, which is our original service area. It was going to be way too costly to bring in the city of Elma and any other expansion that we ever did, just because you have to be a certified company in those areas, and unfortunately it takes thousands of dollars to become certified. So, and then the other reason why is that the Lifeline program is actually scheduled to end on December 1st of this year. However, they've already pushed it back twice. So the likelihood is that it might get pushed back again. But basically what it is it's a credit that's on your monthly statement, and it totals about $17.37 currently. And we have currently 17 individuals on Lifeline. So you heard me say there's 1,700, and we only have 17 individuals that are on Lifeline. So if you know anyone that qualifies, and the qualifications are on the screen, let them know about it. It's a very worthwhile program, and obviously it helps them keep their... And the biggest one that I really want to talk about, because this is open to all of our members, this is the Affordable Connectivity Program that I had previously mentioned that we were granted access into last year. So this is for broadband accounts, or broadband and phone accounts, so you have to have a broadband account. And with this one, you actually get a $30 credit on your monthly bill. And you can only take it through one provider though. So if you are utilizing it on a cell phone, you can also get it on your broadband for the cooperative as well. So just keep that in mind. And then also we do not participate in this, but they also do a one-time discount for the purchase of a laptop or a desktop or a tablet or any kind of other device that connects to the internet. And like I mentioned, we currently participate in that just because we didn't want to have to go out and buy a bunch of tablets and keep them on hand and things like that. So with the Affordable Connectivity Program, we only have 18 individuals that are on it. And I think a good portion of our membership, at least probably, another 20 or 30, are not wanting to come forward and utilize this funding. I will say though that the federal government is actually monitoring this, and companies that that be lower than the average, they're more subject to actually a review to make sure that companies are doing their part. We do a notice and bill say, contact our office if you want to know more about these programs or if you qualify. There's a website up there as well. It's affordableconnectivity.gov. So go ahead and check that out if you qualify. There's a lot of ways to qualify, and all it takes is just one of those. All right, some closing thoughts. I didn't mention anything about cybersecurity or things like that, but just stay vigilant with any emails that you receive. Do make sure you don't click on any links without first verifying the email address, and read the emails for proper English, things like that. And if it's too good to be true, it likely is. So don't click on anything. And there's been some really good ones lately, and I've seen them in some of my emails as well, and even on the work email too. Occasionally we'll get one that looks kind of fishy, and actually it ends up being a valid email. It's just how it comes across. I'll use us as an example. Like, you got an email from us saying, hey, we need your banking account information. Please email that back to us. Well, first of all, we wouldn't do that. But second of all, if you come across something like that, pick up the phone and call, but don't call the number that's on the email, because that might be directly to that particular scammer or group of scammers. Call them and verify it, that they actually sent it, and just be vigilant. And the last thing I kind of wanted to mention, you heard me mention about the ACH portion. I just kind of wanted to hit that just real brief. Currently, for those that don't know, we do offer an e-statement, and currently only 38% of our membership are utilizing that method. It's just a way to help cut down on paper, obviously, and some printing costs that we incur, and the biggest right now is actually postage. So if anybody's interested in getting their bills by email, just contact the office. And then also with ACH, currently, and this is actually a really good statistic, 53% of our accounts are actually being paid out of ACH right now. So again, that saves basically a check for you or postage if you're mailing it to us. Again, it's taken out automatically out of your account on the last day that the bills are due, which is on the 18th. And then obviously there would be some savings to the cooperative as well. We don't have to process that payment manually. It all flows right into your account. So if you're interested in signing up for either email or ACH or both, just contact our office. Feel free to stop after the meeting with myself or Lisa or Amanda if you want to know a little bit more about it, or if you are that interested, we can get your information and get you going on that. The last thing, it's been a little over a year now since we made the switch to ending our video. So I kind of wanted to hit on the streaming topic tonight. There's a lot of individuals that might not be comfortable with streaming, not know what it is or how it works. So if anybody is interested in streaming, and doesn't have anybody to talk to, stop in our office. I will make sure that we bring up a streaming service of your choice. We'll test it out, try to see if it would work for you, and if so, at least then you would have time to play with it before you actually go out and buy it. So, and you might be able to even save some money in the long run with that by, switching off of either a satellite provider or whatever service that you might be utilizing. It's supposed to be the scholarships. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Technology, isn't it wonderful? Okay, so the scholarships, our essay question this year, and I actually gave the board about 4 different options of questions that we were going to ask, and they chose this one, which I think is a really good one because we got a lot of really good answers. So the question was, if you had the authority to change your community in a positive way, what specific changes would you make and why? And like I said, we got lots of different avenues that people went with, which is really good because I actually really enjoy reading the actual application itself, and you kind of get an idea of where the individual is thinking, and it kind of, usually ties in with their program that they're kind of going into as well. So I thought that was really neat. The applications have to be 500 words. And they were required to attend the annual meeting this year, which is something new. That's basically, we wanted the membership to be able to see who these individuals are that are getting these scholarships. And then, obviously, the way we do our the way we do our awarding is by random drawing. And normally we would do that drawing this morning, we would normally do it, and then, just announce it this evening, but we're actually gonna draw them in person tonight. So the way it was supposed to be scheduled was that we were going to award 2 $1,000 scholarships to 4-year schooling applicants, and then also 2 $1,000 scholarships for a 2-year program or an individual that's going into a trade program. Unfortunately, we only had 1 2-year applicant. So Chance Ernst, are you here? All right, come on up. I'll just have you say a few words. All these individuals were. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank the Cochrane Telephone for allowing us to have the scholarship and just having this opportunity to win a scholarship, but for this. So thank you.
Great.
And what program are you going into?
I'm going for biomedical equipment and technology at Southeast Winona.
Wow.
All right. Right. Great field. I don't know anything about it, but it sounds really interesting. So next, we'll do our 4-year scholarships. We actually have 8 of them. And as I mentioned, we'll draw for 3 of the 8. And then what we'll do is we'll do all 3 at the same, or we'll draw one, and then draw another one, and then draw the 3rd one. And then what we'll do is we'll bring them back up in that order. So I guess we're ready for the drawing. This will just take just a second. Got to change some screens. Help this year. All right, go ahead and spin. All right. There's your first winner. So you have the most time to prepare. Yep, go ahead and remove. This will be the second one. Close. All right, there's the second one. And our third. So it's gonna be close. All right, so it was Caleb, correct?
Kaylee.
Kaylee? Okay, sorry. I have really bad memory. Is she here? Okay. Oh, okay.
Come on now.
I'm going to the University of sorry.
Yeah, we gotta get you on camera.
I'm going to the University of Wisconsin Eau Claire on a pre-physician's assistant track. And yeah, I would just thank you for this opportunity.
Then the second one. Congratulations.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Hale Madsen. I'm going to be going to the UW or Air Force ROTC. I'll probably be interning at the Capitol. I want to say thank you guys very much for doing this, and I hope it's a worthy investment.
The third one. Yep, that's what I thought. Yeah, we did have, there's 2 applicants that are actually on an FFA event this evening, so this is one of the parents.
So Ella's going to the UW Stevens Point for environmental science.
Right. And you know, once I saw that we only had the 1 2-year applicant, it was a no-brainer to issue a third $1,000 scholarship for the 4-year applicants. We had a really good applicant submissions, and so next year, if you have anybody that has a senior that you know of, let them know about this. We do let all the schools know, but just please let them know. We like to read all those applications. So the next item, director election. So we had the open forum, was held on February 15th. We did an advertisement in the paper, as well as on the February bill message. The nomination committee met. There was 2 applicants that applied, and both were selected to appear on the ballot. Then all the ballots were mailed to all of our members. And then actually the nomination committee has counted all of the votes this evening. So without further ado, I guess I would be looking for one of the nomination committee members to come up with the results. There they are. Sorry, I don't have any music to play or anything like that.
Sorry. We wanted Dean to do it in his uniform, but you got me instead.
All right, so I'm opening this upside down. All right, so we, the 2023 nominating committee, do hereby certify that the ballots have been reviewed and counted and have agreed that the number of ballots cast for each person listed below. And it is signed the 26th day of April by all 3 of the nominating committee members. So Heidi Lasowski was on the ballot, as well as Lee Bailey. I want to thank Lee for showing interest in this. I've got to meet him a couple different times now. Really great individual, really great supporter of the community as well, which is great to see. So, drum roll. So Heidi had 266 votes, and Lee Bailey had 103, which is really great to see. But Lee, I want to thank you for your interest, and don't prevent us from you applying ever again. So I want to thank you. So Heidi will be now elected for, the terms are 5 years, so she will begin another 5-year term then. There we go. Okay, who wants free money? That's one way to get everybody going. So this year we decided, in addition to those of you that are in person who got your $20 in community dollars, we also do 2 drawings, either with a virtual attendees, and then also for our in-person attendees. And so we'll do a random drawing for a $50 bill credit for each of those. So just to clarify, everyone in this room is eligible to win a $50 bill credit, and then those that are also on virtually would also be eligible to win a separate drawing for $50. All right, so I believe the term is technical difficulties. You can. You want to try Firefox? I'll have to sign in. Yeah. It'll be just a second. For some reason, the website was working when we got it all up and working. As you've seen, the scholarship applicants, we're doing another one of those spinning wheel things, and for some reason, the website has not decided to cooperate. Do we have anybody that can sing or dance?
Right?
I'm going to try it on my phone here first. Unfortunately, it looks like their website is down. I can't pull it up even on my phone. Okay. So, what we will do is try and figure out a way to do a random. I know a way to do this, so let's close that. Nope. Somebody's gonna draw a random number.
Whoops, change it.
All right, so it looks like we have 2, 3, 4. We have 5 people that are currently virtual. So I will ask Heidi to choose a number between 1 and 5.
3.
3. Number 3 is 1, 2, 3. Joe Morozic. You will be receiving a $50 bill credit. And then, for those of you in person, there's a lot of them. All right, so we have 1 through 60. So Heidi, choose a number between 1 and 60.
47.
40, oh, you're gonna make it difficult. So 47 would be Heidi Henkes.
Heidi?
So you will be getting a $50 bill credit.
It's the Heidi thing.
Yep. Yeah, I protest. All right, so we have the drawings. The last thing I wanted to go through with everyone this evening. Okay, questions. If there's any questions, either virtually, go ahead and enter those in the chat. I know that the virtual option is, there's a lag difference there, so we might have a little bit of time. It's been relatively quick, I noticed, early on anyway. But otherwise, if you don't feel comfortable asking your question, either virtually or in person, you can text it to my number. It's 507-450-0451. And we'll just give it a quick second here just to see if there's any questions. And then let's look if there's anything online. Is there any questions from the audience? Yes, thank you for asking a question. Not that I wanted to.
I'd just like to know if we are ever, or what is the procedure anymore? Stuff is still in the house from when we had, so are we responsible for removing that and returning it, or is somebody will come and remove it? What's the?
Yep. You just contact the offices and just let us know that, or just speak with either one of us up front. Give us your name and address, and we'll contact you when we'll stop in and take care of that for you. Yep. Yeah. We thought we got them all, but so yeah. If there's anybody else that has any old cable boxes or whatever, just contact the office and we'll stop in and grab them. So. Oh.
Once in a while on our internet, it says internet not available when we or email.
And that can be many different things. Modem in your home. I mean, there's many different factors. But if it ever comes up again, just feel free to contact the office.
Well, sometimes you click on the little envelope up above there, and all of a sudden it comes in.
Yeah. So it could be just a glitch thing.
Okay.
Probably it does. It's probably something to do with the actual email service itself.
Yeah. Or even when I try to get onto my bank account.
Yep. Same thing.
Say not. And then sometimes I think, well, maybe the bank doesn't have enough.
I know.
It comes way down from way down to Pfizer.
Okay.
I think where it all comes from.
Yeah, it's something, but yeah, if you get it repeatedly, by all means, contact the office. Yep, they have the ability to look at it with you,
No
so.
baseball bat.
Oh, no baseball bat, no. I don't want you to go that route. Oh, I'm sorry, yes, I had wanted to do that. He basically was saying that he has some, page not found or something like that when he was trying to get either into his email or to his bank account related to any of our equipment or the connection. But yeah, if anybody has any kind of, issues with their internet or whatever, that's why we have the technology that we have. We can assist you with any kind of issues that you have. Any other questions?
Yeah, I got them.
Yes, sir.
It's been on the TV lately, a couple of weeks. You can get a free telephone with a Play Store. It says, shows on there what the other person is talking about.
Are you talking, okay.
It's a federal program. If you qualify for it, it's free. And the Clear Captions is the company.
Okay, okay. So the question was, for those that didn't hear, which I'm sure most didn't, he saw an ad for a device basically a free device that can help him with basically seeing what's being said. I know that those ads are on TV. Again, you gotta be careful with those. They claim to be, a federal program, but it might not be. So be careful with it. I know we actually do have a customer that does use the CapTel phone, just because he is hard of hearing, I believe. It's worth looking into, but just be very careful, what, who you go with.
Free, you'll come out and hook it all up.
Yeah, that might be too good to be true, kind of a thing, so just be careful. Otherwise, just stop in at the office, we'll look at it together and see if it's the true thing, or we'll get you in touch with the actual products that you might need for that particular service to help you out. Right? Okay, I will turn it over to Heidi for adjournment then.
All right, any further business to discuss? Being there's no further business, I'd like a motion to adjourn. Can I have a motion? Motion, second? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? I hereby adjourn the 118th annual meeting of the Cochrane Cooperative Telephone Company. Have safe travels home.